Can you see that the dawn's early light was so proudly we had the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and rugged the monsters get pulled through the night. Then our flag was still there. Oh, sailors that star-spangled banner yet wave. For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
There we
All
are.
right, are we here?
We are here.
Come-
Gunsandthe701.com. There we go.
And I don't know what's going on. I thought we had it solved. Twitter is not working again tonight. So I did go put on Twitter, X, whatever.
Twitter.
Twitter. I did go on there and put the Facebook link. It is up and running. Go ahead and just go over to the Facebook link or go over to Rumble. Unfortunately, guys, I don't know. We've had this thing working, and I don't know why
you
this
know,
is happening.
mine is showing that it's working.
Really?
Well, hold on a
Well,
second. Oh,
I just-
it's got a problem loading on a loading error.
Yes.
So,
It says sending data error, and I don't know why. I don't every time.
but why did it sent me to Facebook?
Well, I went and posted a Facebook thing.
No, I
there.
mean, okay, yeah, that's weird. That's weird.
So it should take you there if you're on there.
Right. No,
No.
it's just strange.
I don't know why it works, and sometimes it don't. I was on actually with them last night on their chat thing. Thought we had it solved, but when we do a scheduled thing, it works all the time. So there it is, right there. It does take it to you. So go ahead and just follow that Facebook. That was the easiest one, so you could comment. All right. I don't know why it don't work. Someday we'll get it. Waylon, good to see you tonight. Josh, good to have you in. Eric, and we got a few over there on Rumble as well. I didn't check out Twitch, but hey, welcome to Guns in the 701, episode 105 already, Mike. Can you believe it?
Already 105.
Yeah, so we'll get this baby started like we do every night. The Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. You know, it's funny, Mike. Watching the news cycle, evidently the Democrats, they don't quite get the not infringed part of the Second Amendment.
Well, it's like I did not inhale. It's a lot of double negatives on their end, but yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, One Shot. Good to have you listening and tuning in tonight. Did you happen to catch Jamie's 701 Nation here last week?
A little bit of it, and then of course I had a
good.
lot of hassle going on. But
they're talking mule deer and then some other things, and I'm seeing quite a few mule deer here. I know you're going to be up here for deer season.
Yep.
Whitetails, I got quite a few of them, but I saw the mule deer buck I want. Actually, there's two of them, and I'm probably going to try to kill the one I've been trying to kill, and he's not a huge monster. He's a 3x2 and needs to come out of the herd. I saw him finally. I've been watching him. I went and put some game cams out, so I know exactly where he is.
Right.
But there's a bigger one out there, and I'm going to try to get that one for one of the boys. Landon's already got a pretty good sized one, so it's Leighton's turn. This is his first year hunting he can hunt the regular season. So.
Right. And Jack's too. Jack's going to be hunting the regular stuff, so that's pretty good.
Brian, good to have you on there. Good evening, Mr. Fellow MVE. Militant, violent extremists that we are.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what. Which one what do you want to start out with tonight?
Well,
we didn't really put up a format tonight. We're kind of
no, we didn't really go for too much. I know the bump stack thing is a good thing. We want to talk about that probably on the K-Fire on Friday. Let you talk about that. There's a couple things I was going to bring up here. Of course, we were a lot of news. Well, we didn't go through all the stories and whatnot. Of course, it's another week of Camilaville. I mean, that's all that's on the
I renamed
TV.
her, remember? It's Kamila.
Kamila.
You know, she's a communist, so Kamala Harris.
Kamila. Sounds like Count Chocula, but that's all right.
Well,
I
don't think she can count though. Anyway.
Oh, there you go. So I was looking on the web, and by the way, the web is an embarrassing place sometimes because there's a lot of people out there, the Patriots, that are showing their support for everything. But this picture right here is not the best tattoo I've seen of the former president. We're talking, it's like a 12-year-old Richie. It looks like, what is it? Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all.
Not good. But if you're going to mark your body up, do it a little more properly than that. That's
I mean, they could at least show a little of the bullet hole, things like that. And it's not good at all.
Well, that's been the big thing this week. Oh, it wasn't a bullet.
Oh yeah,
it was shrapnel. Oh no, he
Camila, there you go, Lynette. Lynette, she chimed in. She was Camila. I believe YouTube's working. It looks like, so we're good there. But
so you should copyright that now. Camila, that'd be nice.
Camila, I'll make a T-shirt, and I haven't put it up yet because I got to ask everybody. I'm gonna put this up here. I made this design, after this happened.
Right.
And I just thought that verse, really, really hits the mark as far as what happened to President Trump. But I think I'm going to eliminate one of these. I don't want both of them on each side.
Right.
But the way we print T-shirts, the one on the right would be, if you're watching this with the cross and the flags, probably going to print the best. And I think that's going to work really good. And then I'll put that up on the website. I think that's going to be one of our new designs. And I've actually had a couple people. I was wearing mine I actually wore it in town here this weekend, and I already got 2 orders for that one. And I said, well, I'm going to do a little bit. So I think it's a neat one. To me, it kind of just captures things. So Axe says he likes my hat. Appreciate that. He's got a picture of me wearing his. So.
It caught me off guard when I first came on. I was like, what? Surprised me just a little bit. Well, I just wanted to show a couple of things this when we came in here. But one of the things that I was looking at was we were talking about self-defense is the main reason for gun ownership, which is something that I wish we would push more than the hunting thing, because they love to throw that in our face. Well, you don't need
all the time,
whatever for hunting. And I'm like, well, no, I wish I could hunt year long, but that's not what I do, and that's not why I've got these. That's not why I'm in for this. But I mean, Americans more than ever before, are armed and ready to defend themselves and their families from threats, and that's what we do. We've got coming in, and I would rather be on the side of statistics that say a man or a woman who repelled an invader into my house than somebody that has to have a eulogy done. So I mean, it's a huge bump up from the earlier decades. No single study has tracked the reasons why gun owners over time, making comparisons inexact, but similar studies have found that 26% of Americans reported owning a gun for protection in 1999. Now, that was in 1999, according to CNN. And today, well, I think those numbers are up a little bit. And of course, we were talking earlier about, some of our states, Wyoming coming in number 1 per capita for gun ownership. We're talking about West Virginia at number 2, South Dakota coming in at number 3 with, I can't really catch that number, but it's like 70%. We've got New Mexico in there per capita is 58.1, New Hampshire at number 5. Virginia is number 6, which is kind of surprised me.
I'll help you out with South Dakota, 72.2%.
There you go. Thank you. Then we've got Arkansas, guns per capita, 44.3%. Idaho is number 8 at 40.2, and North Dakota at 40%. 40% or 40 per capita. 40
rookie numbers.
Rookie numbers. Got to get those up. But yeah, looking at that and thinking to myself, it's one of the things we are, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago. California is one of the biggest sellers of guns right now. Why is that?
Imagine that.
Because
and they can't even buy all of them.
It is a pushback on the policies that do not work.
Absolutely.
That's flat out what it is. And when you come at people and start threatening, and you come there with your hands up going, oh no, we just want everyone to be safe. Well, you're saying that while you have police standing behind you moving in to take your guns. What was the Kamala thing we were talking about, or the Kamala that we were talking about a little bit ago? She was saying that they're saying, well, she's never said on video that she's going to take your guns. And I'm like going,
I'll tell you what, right now, I've heard that. I've been watching the liberal media stations just kind of taking in they've propped her up like she's the next coming of
my
Christ.
gosh.
And whatever. Saying that she didn't do this, she didn't do that. She wasn't the border czar, even though they tagged her with that term. She actually is on video saying that she would do a national mandatory buyback gun program for assault weapons, even though she don't define assault weapons, as most of them don't. First of all, I don't know. When you buy something back, Mike, didn't you have to own it at one time and you sold it?
And apparently they think that that's the problem when you're doing the king's bidding. Is the king thinks he owes everything you have, the land you walk on, the air you breathe, the water that falls on your land, everything, including the guns you buy, apparently belongs to the king, because the king thinks they can buy them back for what, a fraction of the price?
Well, I know.
Well, I guess when you print the money, you can buy back for whatever you want, and the money's worthless.
And it's been done. People have done it and put videos out there just to prove how stupid it is. And I can't say I wouldn't do the same thing. I might go find one of my rustiest pieces of junk that I don't have many of them, but that are no good. And if they're paying like $500 for a gun and it's worth 50, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go sell that one back to them. I'll take the $450 profit and then buy another one.
I'll do exactly what the guys used to do all the time. They used to go to the yard sales and the estate sales and buy up all the old craftsman's crappy tools. Then they take them back to Sears and they trade them in with their warranty and get new or free stuff or money for it. So, I'll do the exact same thing. I'll go to the gun show and buy all those $25 pieces of crap, and take them there. And
so Brian Warner, he says, but she don't believe that anymore. We're talking about
wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Yeah, we know that. And Jamie's back from a long overdue vacation that he needed out in Minnesota. So he actually, I don't know if you saw that. He sent me a video where he showed they're one of their reps or senators that was on TV, and there was an actual dude dressed up like a woman behind her. So maybe he'll get a clip of that and play that here on 701 Nation, his next one. So we'll have to see. Yeah. But Jamie, he's back. He's back from vacation. So sounds good. Anyway, you're talking about more Americans owning guns. Just saying, Axel says, was that the video clip where she's talking about 2 million assault weapons on the street? I think it was, Ax. I'm pretty sure that was the one with her talking about that. And she wants a mandatory buyback program or whatever.
Well, let me go ahead and tell you, if you had 2 million sitting out on the streets right now, I mean, you wouldn't own that territory, would you? Because you're outgunned.
We would. Hey, welcome to everyone on Rumble over there. I can see the numbers that you're over there, so welcome. And if you want to comment over there, I do have that up, and I monitor that. And all you have to do is just go ahead and make one, and I will put it in here. I'll just copy it and put it right into the chat so everyone can see it. But as far as the arming up, I guess you could say, Americans are arming themselves heavier, not for hunting and recreation anymore. I was kind of surprised by that myself. I'm glad to see it. They're literally doing it to defend themselves, and I'm glad to see that. When they're buying a firearm, they're saying, the right now, and this was done. I don't know how much salt I put in some of these, but this was a study published in the Journal of Injury Prevention, found that 80% of gun owners were motivated to purchase a firearm for personal protection. So. Yeah. That's good to see that it's up for that. I think that, like you were saying, we should be out there telling people, if you want to buy a gun, great. use it for self-protection. That is the intent. Let's face it. That's the intent of them 27 words. It's to protect ourselves and our property from all things that might be evil to us, really. Tyrants.
And one of the things
People are
I've been
going to do
thinking
us
about for a
wrong, things
while
like
is
that.
one of the things I've been thinking about for a while is for a contest for a giveaway here on the show on Guns in the
Mhm.
701. Maybe we should start team up with one of those training centers that does the training for people for their pistols and more,
Yeah.
so they can learn it properly. I mean, I think that's even if you know what you're doing, go through it, and you never know. You're never too old to learn something new, and things change all the time. Of course, I was looking at this thing. Dr. David Yamney, a professor of sociology at Wake Forest University, believes the uptick of buying more guns is because of cultural unrest. That's kind of a catchphrase right there.
Yeah.
That was witnessed in the 1960s. Now, if you remember in the 60s, people were being, of course, kind of tore up here and there. And so, yeah, you were buying a gun to protect yourself. And then he said later during the COVID pandemic, people were buying them up as well. It's time for a profound social unrest and social uncertainty. Lots of political movements, cultural changes, foreign threats, people listening to crazy music, which I don't really.
I don't.
I don't buy that crap. I don't. Music doesn't make people. Music just makes firing your gun feel cool when you're doing it with your earbuds in, but it doesn't make me shoot any better or want to shoot or what. And that's just a dumb. It's like, might as well tell me video games make me violent.
And I think he also lives with political assassination, riots, and protest movements in some cities. Well, yeah, we could break all that stuff down, and let's just face it, a lot of that's leftist propaganda.
Right.
But we did have a pop shot taken. Our president was shot. Mr. President Trump was shot. Let's get that clear. It wasn't shrapnel. He was shot. And it was a bullet from a 223 5.56. They haven't really defined it, just that it was an AR-15. I've heard nobody actually come up and saying that they knew exactly which it was. But it's either 5.56 or 223. It don't much matter.
Yeah.
But he was shot. Okay. So our president was shot. If he wouldn't have turned his head, he'd be dead. So we did have an assassination attempt, and somebody did try to shoot our president. But it had nothing to do with the rest of us arming up.
I have been watching some of the clips of the political clips of them interrogating, questioning the I guess the people that haven't been fired yet from the Secret Service, trying to answer the questions. And I'm looking at a guy who he looks like Jack Reacher. He's got the huge neck. Looks like he knows 77 ways to kill me with a spoon, basically. One of those guys. And I understand that's what he's trained to do. And he's got to sit up there and he's got to listen to senators and congressmen from both sides. And he, in the back of his mind, he's being polite, but he's thinking of ways to kill everybody in the room. But
and him and Ted Cruz got into it. Okay. And rightfully so. Ted Cruz was, I'm telling you right now, this guy's the assistant deputy director.
Yep.
Of this, and the buck stops with him too. He had knowledge. I don't care what he says. I don't care how much he tries to dance around. And that's all he did. He danced. So he might have wanted to kill some of them guys or punch them out. But you know what? He's probably guilty of the same crap. He's very responsible, if nothing else, as to the same reason that Cheadle resigned. To me, that whole freaking thing should be cleaned out. And if Trump gets in, I imagine there's going to be a deep cleaning because he knows where the skeletons are now, and he knows who the problems are. Secret Service has had a problem for decades, and it just finally is. They failed miserably on the 13th.
Right.
And I don't care if Trump, Biden, Kamala, any of them. If your primary is of who they are, they should be trying to protect them with everything they got. They used to carry MAC 10s, was it? I don't even see them carrying them anymore.
Well, I think it's much like when you have a small platoon. I think you've got certain guys are carrying certain things, and you don't know what they're all carrying. Now, one thing I will say that I do not like the whole concept of this claiming DEI thing on the female that was in that group. I don't. I guarantee you that woman worked her way up to that position. You don't get into the position of Secret Service at that level because of anything other than your skill.
I don't know if you saw the Charlie Kirk show. They got it on pretty good. They're not really saying that they know for sure, but they're pretty sure that particular group, especially the women, were not the normal security detail. And I can probably attest to that because I didn't see him in Rapid. Now that the three guys, I recognize that one for sure. He's very recognizable, the one that's like right behind Trump in that picture. And they are Homeland Security people, not Secret Service, but they were using Homeland Security agents to fill in because they were so short staffed.
Why are they short staffed? That's my thing.
Well, they sent a bunch over to where Jill was at when Joe Biden was speaking that same day, and there's emails now that are saying all kinds of other things. I'm not going to jump to a lot of conclusions yet, but I'm telling you right now, no Secret Service agent handles a gun like she did. Okay. Period.
All right.
That's my accord, Mike. I mean, if you sucked that bad at handling your firearm under pressure, you shouldn't be a Secret Service agent. I'd fire her on the spot.
Well, I think
that is her one job.
I think they all cracked. I mean, look at the guys up on the roof that had the guy in visual. Why do you need to wait in that situation where your job is to protect one person? And you have to wait for command.
And the story he couldn't do it. I would have broke command. I would have broke the rules and did it. Period. But I'm kind of that way. I'm not a big person on rules, you know that. Yeah, well. But as far as that Secret Service detail, it looked like amateur day for a lot of them. I will give the three guys behind around the stage. You see how fast they popped up there and got on Trump, and the rest of them are like, what's going on here? Yeah, so many failures. Someone's head needs to roll other than the one that already did.
Right.
People need to be fired. And that's kind of what the sentiment of, I watched that whole hearing. Them congressmen were pissed, and they had every right to be pissed as far as I was concerned.
And you brought it up to my attention on a few that I might have missed that, there were a lot of Democratic senators that were trying to push it, that it's the gun's fault that he was shot. And I'm like going, this guy was seen with a rangefinder.
Well,
and then he was seen with, and no one's questioning him. So
no, nobody's questioning. I'll tell you what, we're going to come back and discuss that a little bit as far as what they tried to use that hearing for. But first, I think we better take a little time out, pay some bills here, and thank some sponsors, and we'll be right back with that.
All right. Are we going to do a double, triple, or what do you want to
do? We'll do a double.
All right. Well, I got something special for you real quick.
Okay. So I'm about ready to hit it. Go for it.
We'll do this, and we'll do a double.
All right.
Enough was enough, and I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
I'm from the Athlete's Foot Foundation.
Brother, hey, can you get my demo tape to somebody?
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a concept constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
And we are back. Hey, it's good to have you. I see Vance is on there. Vance is taking a little hiatus, so
Yep.
I was glad to see he was on this evening. Who knows? I imagine he'll come back one of these days,
Yep.
maybe next week. So Jamie brought up something, 701 Nation. He goes, yeah, he says the new Secret Service director, Jack Reacher, was handpicked by Cheadle, according to Charlie Kirk. Sounds like another leftist in charge. That's what I'm hearing, too, from the sources I've been seeing and watching. That whole agency, well, all the agencies in D.C. need a deep cleansing. They've been embedded there for decades, and it needs to end. We need to get them out of there. We need to bring in new people. And they probably should rotate every so many years so that they don't get so ingrained with the bureaucracy. But
well, one of the things
that's
I
a whole
think
nother
is
discussion.
when police and governmental officials start becoming a parody of what they're portrayed on television, and the inadequacies and basically the entrenched, like you said, growing, problems of getting things done because everybody's, working for their resume and whatnot. Yeah, it just gets to be ridiculous. So, yeah. By the way, I hope you like the
I love that.
Hulkamania
Great.
there.
I thought
You
that
got
was pretty
the hat on, so you were pretty close to it.
Yeah. Hey, I saw the first hat like this that I got to wear was up at Axe's place. I was like, I'm gonna have one of them. There it is. I have one. Hey, Dave, good to have you. Hey, Dave, tell me this: are you on the road still, or did you make it home? Well, it sounded like he made a run out west again, all the way out to, I believe, Washington State. I think, or Oregon. I don't even know. And our Bloodline Connects, Jacob's out in, from what I understand, he's out in Illinois. I don't know if he's back or not. He's out there for, I believe it was one of his family members went to the Navy. Schooling, excellent. Something like that. So, and what I thought was interesting, both of them were in a different chat talking about all the Trump stickers they're seeing, all the Trump stuff, even in those deep blue states. And I hope that is a sign of what's to come. It's going to be interesting. This Kamala thing was planned. I have no doubt. I don't think it was planned quite how it shook out, but I do think that the end game still came about. And now we're 90 days out, and they got to run a campaign to be president. So we'll see. I want to get back, though, what we were talking about with the hearing. And this was when they were grilling Cheadle, and she didn't give anybody any answers. But
right,
the Democrats, that's the old never miss an opportunity, right?
Right.
So when she was up there, they were, spouting off about different things. But we had some Democrats. I have their names because one of them got on there and basically wanted to testify about security failures that led to the 20-year-old gunman opening fire at a Trump rally. First of all, he's 20 years old. So there's supposed to be extra scrutiny on 18 to 21-year-olds. That wasn't that what the old bipartisan Unsafe Communities Act was all about? Fail, right? Okay. But he took the gun from his father. So just like we said, it isn't going to matter. It was just another way for them to get their foot in the door.
Well, see, they don't care about that because they want to take it away from their father as well. They want to take it away from everybody so that nobody can steal it from anybody because no one will have a gun.
And what I haven't been able to find out yet, when they went to this guy's parents' house, they took all the guns in his house. Why'd they take his guns?
Yeah.
And I don't know if he got them back yet. I haven't been able to get in. And so we'll see how that shakes out. I mean, it's Pennsylvania, so who knows? But committee members, Representative Jamie Raskin, not a shock here, Democrat from Maryland. Jerry Connolly, Democrat from Virginia. Congressional Delegate Eleanor Holmes from, looks like D.C. Remember, they get a spot there. They shouldn't have anything, but whatever. Yeah. They use most of their time to highlight, what do you think? They talked about it being an AR-15, that he took it from his father, who had illegally purchased it and that they should be doing something about all these assault weapons. Raskin Sheehan said she began her rant by expressing concern about all the AR-15s out there, and spent several minutes of this speaking and urging the federal ban on, guess what, assault weapons again, guys. We had an assault weapons ban. It did nothing. All it did was infringe on our rights. It did nothing. When it expired, nothing happened like they predicted. We were able to have 10-round magazines and bigger. We were able to have collapsible stocks. We were able to have all these things that had banned, including the gun itself, and it did nothing. Fact, crime went down. So, moot point. Connolly says, there's some things my friends on one particular side of the aisle don't really want to talk about, like AR-15s and access to them by 20-year-olds or anybody for that matter. Hear that? Like you just said.
Well, I'll send my 20-year-old son or daughter over to a foreign land for a stupid reason and have them blown to bits. But no, at home they can't have any rights.
Yeah, none. You're not supposed to have any. And if you're under 21, even though you can vote, you can be in prison, you can be arrested like adult. No, you don't get that.
Well, unless of course my son or daughter, if I'm a congressman or a senator or somebody higher up, then they have a post that they'll be stuck here at home and not be able to do anything. So,
I did see, and I didn't get to it. I've just been too busy here wrapping up with some things around the place. But there's been a decision come out on that 18 to 20-year-old scrutiny, the extra scrutiny. So I got to read up on that and see exactly what that was about. Sounds like it actually goes into, I don't know, the courts basically cited Bruin in the historical reference. So I'll get the info on that and see exactly where that comes down at. Hey, DJ, that's Doug Thompson. Good to have Doug listening. I ain't had him on for a while. So good to have you on. Anyway, Connolly went after this. He'll love this. He even asked, he goes, and he said it repeatedly. Now, I'm reading this, but I did watch the hearing. You should have seen this moron. He wanted to know whether the Secret Service's job was easier or harder with the access to the AR-15, essentially. I mean, really? I would say that their job is harder and easier based on the situation, where they're at, the circumstances. That's going to be a very specific play, or it's going to be to the situation. It's going to be a very specific event outcome as to whether it's harder or easier.
One thing I don't understand is that the Secret Service claims in those hearings that they could not fly drones overhead because of interference with signals or something like that. Yet the Crooks idiot, he did earlier in the week and whatnot fly his drone over. Looking and spotting out everything like that. So, yeah, what's happening with that one? So, apparently, I guess you can buy better drones as a civilian than you can as a Secret Service person. I mean, do we not?
I don't know. I just bought a new one, and I'm anxious. I took it out and been messing with it, and it's fairly inexpensive now. They're getting better. I mean, this thing will fly like over 3 miles, and it did last over 30 minutes on one battery versus the old ones of 7. So my idea now is I want to take that, put it down at my targets out at 400, 500. And I want to sit there now. I'll get better videos than Jamie now. I'll be able to put my drone out there and get them. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, I would think that the feds have some good drones, wouldn't you?
I would think they would.
But Brian says, he goes, a little bastard stole it. How does another law stop that? Doesn't sound like the old man gave it to him either. He didn't. He stole it from him. It's like any other gun that gets stole. If someone's wanting to do an evil act, they're going to get it done. There ain't one single law can stop that. It's just that simple. Well, that's a Secret Service guy said that they had technical difficulties. So I guess you and me can run them, Mike. We can figure it out. But I guess the Secret Service guys can't do it. You'd think they'd have people for that trained on it, wouldn't you?
Well, we call that a Friday job. That's when you pretty much at the end of the Friday.
They go buy a vehicle that was made on a Friday.
Yeah, everybody wanted to get out of work earlier that day, so they cut corners, and apparently that's what was happening with that situation. So you might be right a little more on that with some of the Secret Service people that were, or I should say, Homeland Security people that were covering him, because apparently they dropped the ball on many different facets, and
absolutely.
And I got to say, they are lucky that they did miss him by that much.
Oh my goodness!
Because every single one of them and I'm talking about every single one of them, and their support staff would all be on the chopping block right now. But I mean,
They would in the house. Nothing would happen to them, though.
yeah, well,
He brings up, he says, how many shots did the Republican baseball shooter get off without an AR? Exactly. I mean, he did some damage there. I mean,
and Scalise and
it's
everybody.
not the gun. Right. Oh, what do we got here? We got Dave. He says, you need a shot marker or maker. DJ he chimes in here. He says, when FBI director was in hearing, he said possible collapsible stock helped hide the gun. Yeah, I heard that crap too. I couldn't believe that when I heard him say that. So now the collapsible stock. So they're after ARs. They want to ban them all because that 20-year-old got a hold of one anyway. Even with the unsurmountable biggest piece of legislation since the 60s on gun control. Biden was so proud of this. He was there when 1968 Gun Control Act went through. But anyway, I think so. Somewhere in there anyway.
Somewhere in there. I thought he was 70s, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, maybe it was the 70s. He didn't get in there till, but he was definitely around. But yeah, it doesn't matter what gun it is. And I look at these Democrats, and they completely attack the gun, they attack the circumstances, and they attack the equipment. Again, a collapsible stock making it more concealable and problem.
Instead of asking the question about a collapsible stock or the AR or the ammo or anything else, ask this question. Out of the 5 or 6 buildings surrounding the president,
Exactly.
right?
That's going to go
Every building has snipers sitting on it, trained to scan all the way around. And one building has nobody on it.
Nobody.
And that guy who is not in fatigues, who is not dressed up, who is long hair, who stands out, he gets up there and he sets up a rifle.
All over. There was video all over. People took, and
people sitting in the crowd pointing. People sitting in the crowd looking at
an elevated platform, i.e., roof,
right?
Unsecured, nobody on it, and it come out. I think it was actually less than 130 yards now from where your primary is speaking.
Yeah,
unacceptable. I went, like I said, I went down to Rapid to that one. And I mean, this was an indoor facility. And the way it was covered on the outside was, I mean, I could point out the snipers that I could see. I was showing them to my son. I was like, yeah, check that out. There's a sniper. There's a sniper. You telling me that they can't do that in Pennsylvania? Yeah, I call BS on that. I'm not going to jump down the rabbit hole conspiracies yet.
I know.
But it sure looked intentional to me.
And I look at that. I mean, it goes beyond the way they set things up, the way they are, their plans are, and counter plans, and everything that overlaps everything. So stuff like that doesn't happen means that stuff like that doesn't happen.
Right.
I mean, this isn't a book repository that is half a mile away and on a far away. And this is not one of those situations where it's just a flinging a shot. I mean, I remember when I was in the Marines, and the first thing I went in when they told us this, as when we were talking about shooting, and when they issued us our weapons, was that I can't remember, the female cadet in 2 years before me broke the sharpshooter's record for the Marine Corps, and that record had been held since the 1950s from Lee Harvey Oswald. The Marines don't like to talk about that part, but at the same time, it is part of the history. Yep. And he was a sharpshooter. He was far, far away. This guy was not that guy. So you let someone get that close on an open thing. I mean, it was an open invitation.
They were asking for it. They were asking for it. Absolutely. And you do not leave an elevated position like that unsecure. You just don't do it. I mean, like I said, to me, it seems very, very intentional.
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing.
But we're not asking the questions about that. We're asking questions about the rifle he used, or this or that, or collapsible stock. And I'm like going,
like I said, never miss an opportunity, right?
Yeah, I know.
Don't ever miss an opportunity, and take advantage of the situation to push your agenda. And that's what they always do. Always do this every single time. It's all about narrative. So I like what that's why I put this up here. It's just component budget overview. So fiscal year 2024 budget includes $3.3 billion, 8,382 positions for Secret Service budget. $3.3 billion.
$1 billion.
So what's
And
the
you're having
problem here?
technical problems. Yeah, you're having technical problems. I'm thinking, no.
I mean, what's the problem here? Well, I think we know what that is.
Well,
And
like
who
I said,
knows?
clear out the whole shebang is what it should be done, and start from scratch.
And Axe says, he goes, the building had a second floor with windows looking toward the shooter at the rally. And there is some skepticism. I know, I was listening to Charlie Kirk and some of these other guys that on Real America's Voice who actually used to, some of these guys actually used to work for these agencies. Charlie didn't, but they were talking that there was people on the first floor, but not the second floor. And then I've heard they were on the second. It doesn't matter. Axe points out a great idea. That whole building should have been secured.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody in it, cleared and sealed. That's how you do that. That's how they do it everywhere else. I mean, Christ, you should have seen it down in Rapid around the Holiday Inn, which is right next to the Civic Center where the arena was that Trump was speaking last September.
Yep.
You couldn't get in and out of there, man. You couldn't get in and out of there. Pretty much when people started lining up, unless you were actually staying at that motel. And from what I understand, talking to the people that went in there, there was some scrutiny there, which I guess makes sense. I mean, that place was secure. Nothing was going to happen at that rally. Somebody dropped the ball, or it was intentional, and it might have been a little of both. So,
a little of both.
You're going to add something here, huh?
Oh, I was. Can you see me do that?
Yeah, I can see you doing that.
Oh, I was trying to work on the next break here real quick. So
that's okay. Here, we'll just do that.
I didn't.
We lost our chat overlay too.
Oh, I downloaded the same thing. No, sorry. Anyway, and it was so good, I thought I'd run it again. Right. So,
anyway,
yeah, but it goes down to it is that this is your job. You've trained your entire life through whatever military and law enforcement thing that you've gone through. You've trained your whole life. And now if you are doing your job, I'm looking at it like this. I'm like, and you've got to look. I'm surprised we don't have more members of this coming out and saying that, the whole Secret Service needs to be wiped out and start it from scratch, because there is something seriously wrong with them. I mean, there's something
flawed, and it's not what it used to be. And like I said, this particular situation shouldn't have happened. And there was plenty of things that failed to take place that allowed it to happen. This was not one of them flukes where somebody broke through immense security and got through all the stop marks. No, this was pretty easy. The guy climbed up the building that was unsecured, and everybody saw him doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't have happened. It should never have happened. So, and of course, the Secret Service is blaming the police department. They're trying to throw them under the bus. The police are saying, no, we were told to do this. We were told not to do this. I'm apt to believe that police department a hell of a lot more than I am that Secret Service. To tell you the truth.
I apparently I got to answer real quick. It's hump day. I don't know.
Trump Day.
It's hump day.
Right
or
there.
Trump day. Yeah, there you go. It's Trump day.
Let's see. We got Brian. We'll go up to break here. Right? We'll go through some comments. Brian says that that much money, and they have a drone from Woolworth. That sounds like some BS. Yeah. I love it. What's Lynette say? And they are down 800 some people from 4 years ago. There you go. 8,382 employees at 3.3 billion, and they're down 800 from where they were.
Yeah.
So they should have closer to 9,100. Yeah. And I've heard that too, that these agencies, especially Secret Service and some of these others, are losing people by masses. And our military is no different. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but they can't even meet recruitment numbers. And it's because of policies coming out of the Biden-Harris.
I read the story today that the United States Army spent $11 million with the USF. That is the football league that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson tried to resurge back in the McMahon days. They actually had such a poor showing because of they were going to try to sponsor it to boost recruitment. They had a negative amount of recruitments. They lost recruits because of how bad it was.
Wow.
And according to the metrics of the numbers and everything, they actually lost recruits.
Would you go into the military today if you were at 18 years old coming out of high school? I sure as hell wouldn't.
No.
I mean, I was 18 coming out when Iraq was going on. I was setting to go, right? And then Clinton got in there. And I was like, no way. Nope. I'm not even. When he got elected in 1992, no way. I wasn't serving under that commie son of a bitch. And I didn't. So.
Yeah, well, I signed up when I was 17 and went in right when I turned 18 in June of 86. And that was during the Reagan years. And of course, 3 years earlier, we had the Beirut bombing. That was a huge thing on my mind on that as well. And I signed up for 5 years so that I could get the MOS that I wanted.
Right.
And because I missed Armed Forces Radio Network by 0.2% of the test I had to take. And they don't they don't do waivers on that. So yeah. Anyway, enough about that. Yeah. But the thing about it is that I mean, I signed up for some hazardous duty stuff, and it was going to be what it was going to be. Today, I mean, I've already had the conversation with my son. The recruiters have already been at the school talking to him, and his mechanic mind, is looking at them, letting him play with some really expensive toys. So I mean, that's one thing. But I don't know. I just I wonder sometimes. I mean, like I said, it's his choice ultimately.
Yeah.
But he's taught the right way. I think he pretty much.
Here's this one coming in for Rumble. Kiss my ass, Kamal, you gun grabbing commie. I love that.
That could be our next T-shirt right there.
They need another false flag to get recruitment up. Yeah. So I'll tell you what. Let's go. Let's take the big break. Let's do all 4 of them, Mike. You want me to do that? Or you got that?
You hit the commercials. I will hit this right here.
Gotcha. Oh.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business...
Oh.
What happened?
I think I hit something.
Uh-oh.
Pay no attention to everything behind.
I guess the Secret Service was watching. Let's go back to it.
They didn't do it with the...
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constant constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
Ever tried catching a fish with your bare hands or hunting a deer with a stick? Don't be that guy. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we've got all the hunting and camping gear you need. We're your one-stop shop for outdoor adventure.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Check us out at mandansportinggoods.com, or better yet, stop in to 210 East Main Street, Mandan, North Dakota. Mandan Sporting Goods, where the outdoors meets functionality. Store hours, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Closed Sunday. Take up arms at Mandan Sporting Goods. Your adventure starts here.
Looking for the best gun gear for every and any situation? Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
Yeah, hey, look, I got the moves like Michael, the flow like Aubrey, walk around thinking I'm a prince like Saudi. Mismatched Converse, t-shirts tucked in, know my worth, can't tell me nothing. White Nikes, albino, can cop my stilo, head to the top, bottom line is a motto.
And we are back. We had to do a double play there at the beginning.
Don't let me touch things when we're in motion.
Hey, everything's okay because we had Axe on there twice now, so
there we
people
go.
could enjoy that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I want to thank everybody. I was over there. I went and checked some things out. So on the website, we got some people tuning in there. Looks like 2-3 of them actually on the website. So thanks for listening. You can't comment from there, unfortunately. But
Twitter, our Twitch, I did notice on Twitch that all our comments that we have here are being mirrored there on top of anybody else on Twitch. So awesome there as well. And Twitch is a very clear picture as well. So
it's very, very, it's high def over there. It truly is. So and then, of course, over on Rumble, people are switching back and forth, and that's fine. It looks like to me. I mean, we've been as high as 10 and as low as 2. And so, I mean, we're getting some good, that doesn't show up in our number count on Restream.
Right.
Any of those, unfortunately. So thanks for tuning in on all the other ones. I'll keep working on Twitter. Eventually, we'll get it figured out, I hope. So, hey, your light's blinking on your mic. Did we lose you, Mike? We lost you, Mike. We lost Mike. We cannot hear Mike anymore. So I don't know what I've seen his mic blink out. Maybe he'll get her fixed. Anyway, so what I was going to talk about, and I'm going to move on to the next thing then, is we had kind of a good ruling. I guess you could call it out in Virginia. Now, we've been talking about the gun-free zones here for a while on the show. Nothing's moved on the Metcalf case that's out there in Montana. That's kind of the next process is the appellate courts. And I imagine that will move forth from there. It's not the greatest case, but it's an okay case. Hey, we got you back, Mike? Nope, we still don't have him back. So anyway, what we've got 4 people who were found not guilty for carrying firearms in school property out in Gloucester County, Virginia. So I was happy to see this. Now, what it come down to is there was 4 guys, Trevor Heron, Derek Kobolentz, Christopher Cordasco, and Antonio Herendez. They were charged after attending a school board meeting at the T.C. Walker Education Center on July 11, 2023. Now, that kind of sounds like, oh, yep, that's gun-free zone. No, it is not. They carried their concealed firearms into the meeting, which was held off school grounds as defined by Virginia's law. Now, this is what's interesting. In Virginia, under their law, it was a building that was off-site, was not on school property. It's something that they do use. It sounds like it's a lease to me. And of course, what's there and how's there is Badlands, or not, it was Head Start program, which I hated. I hate that program, but I'm not going down that rabbit hole. And they weren't in session. They weren't holding classes, is what that means. So by default, it's just another building. It'd be like no different than the school leasing our Lemon Beeler Center for basketball and then trying to claim you can't carry guns in there. No, that's BS. You can carry a firearm in there, and it's not illegal. But they charge these guys anyway. The County Commonwealth's Attorney General, John Dewicks, as I believe how you pronounce that, he pushed forward with this case anyway, asserting the importance of keeping guns out of schools. Really? 4 guys carrying concealed, told you they're carrying concealed, and it wasn't a school. Let's remember, it was not in a school. It was in an off-site building. The jury saw this differently. They took just over an hour and acquitted all 4 men on the carrying on school property, which was a violation of the gun-free zone, which would have made it a felony. Now, Trevor Herron, and he should have thought this out a little bit more. Evidently, Virginia doesn't have, like we do, constitutional carry. Are you back, Mike? I think we can hear you now. Anyway, what happened there is he had a expired concealed carry permit, and they sentenced him to 30 days in jail for that offense. So, I mean, I guess that was his own screw up for doing that. If you're going to do something like that and go and make a name for yourself and buck the system because you are right, you probably should make sure that you're legal in the state if they still require a carry permit. Anyway, the defense attorneys pointed out the state law. It allows for exceptions when child care centers are not in operation. The prosecution insisted that the Head Start program constituted a school, but it didn't sway the jury. They just said, nope, these guys are not guilty, and they went on with that. So it's kind of nice to see that happening. It's a clear example of an overzealous prosecution, said Derek Koblenz after the verdict. It should never have gone this far, and it shows how the legal system can be weaponized against law-abiding citizens, and this is happening all the time. We've seen it happen against Trump. We've seen it everywhere. We had a guy on there, Mr. Sherwood, where we saw in North Dakota the weaponization of our legal system. It's getting horrible. You back with us, Mike?
I think I am.
Got you now. Good.
Now, it reminds me of what we were talking about a few weeks ago, and when I went down to New Orleans at the hidden police station, that they made a police station a school so that 1,000 yards around it was a gun-free zone, and that was.
And that had to do with some state laws.
Yeah,
yeah, they were trying. It was the precinct 8, if I remember right now.
Right against their constitution, though.
Yeah, absolutely, and they rescinded that finally. But you took a picture in front of that, if I remember.
Yeah, and you know what? That place does not look like a police station because you don't really see very much through the. It looks like a bank, but it's not a bank. It's where they. And
that whole zone would have included Bourbon Street, and that's what
Bourbon Street as well. Yeah.
We know how this works. Anyway, I wanted to point this out because this was a win in this school zone fight. It would have been interesting to see this taken farther if it wouldn't, if they'd have been found guilty, but I'm glad they weren't. Here's what's interesting. The sheriff of this Commonwealth, though, ordered the confiscation of the men's firearms, defended the actions of his deputies, and the decision to the press when it all happened. Our priority is keeping schools safe. But now in this case, the jury has spoken and we respect it. So he's pissed. You can tell. And I went and found that interview. You could tell he was kind of pissed off that the verdict was not guilty. This sheriff's a piece of crap. Right. This sheriff should be thrown out of office. This sheriff is unconstitutional. And that's why it's so important. I think sheriff's elections are probably more important right now in this day and age than any other election out there in your local areas. Not enough guys like Corey Lee over in Stark County and just a handful of others. There's just not enough constitutional sheriffs. Most of them are doing their job. They ain't even doing that. They're there to serve the people, and they're not serving the people. They're taking federal money, and they're helping the feds basically trample all over your rights and the state. So,
as a police officer, when a police officer spends more of his day instead of fighting crime, solving, this and that, and spending his day raising money through victimless crimes, it's an absolute joke.
Well, and it's leaching into the game and fish. I just got some information this weekend. as to what's been happening out at Shade Hill Reservoir, and it's ridiculous. I haven't experienced it myself, thank goodness, because I haven't been out there, but it just kind of tells me everything I need to know and what I've been hearing in the past year, and evidently it's true. I mean, they're sitting there with binoculars, they're bringing in extra game wardens on certain weekends, especially the busy holiday weekends, and then going out there and saying, okay, do you got your ID? Don't need ID. You don't have to have a boating license, driving license in the state of South Dakota. I don't know what they do. I don't take my ID on the boat because I don't want to lose the damn thing.
Right.
And then asking, is you got a fire extinguisher? Do you have this? Do you have all these things? Well, and then they inspect the fire extinguisher to make sure that it's up to the last check on it. You're supposed to have them check what is inspected. I mean, are you kidding me? I never understood why I need to have a fire extinguisher on a boat in the middle of the water. But hey, whatever. I mean, I can always jump off, right?
Right. Well,
I mean, let the son of a bitch burn and sink.
Oh no, then you're going to have to pay a tax because your oil from the boat is going to foul the water, and you're going to have to pay.
I heard this, and this is happening where we got our cabin down there on our lake that we used to have a lot of fun on. And I hear Lake Chida isn't much better up here, but I haven't been up there, so I can't say for sure, but I'm hearing the same thing. I want to know, A, where are they getting the money from to do all this? And why all of a sudden do we have to have all this this enforcement and patrolling of these reservoirs that used to be a lot of fun?
North Dakota and South Dakota, me and you could drive through how many different towns and go, well, there's a meth house. Well, there's where stuff's being produced because you can see certain signs. Well, there's where that's happening. And I'm like going, but you're spending the money and the time and everything else with all this bull on these, basically like we said, it's, what do you call it? Victimless crimes.
Crimes.
Yeah. But you're spending on that. But yeah, you'll say, oh, it's the war on drugs. It's the war on this, the war on everything else. And it's absolutely ridiculous. So
it's ridiculous. It absolutely is. So anyway, I had to pull that one out for the school zone thing. I did actually have a video, but I kind of covered it, so I'm not going to play that video anymore because now it's kind of pointless. But I kind of forgot about it. I'm not used to having this scene thing in our new system. So
yeah, it's actually we're growing. The system is growing on us. Yeah, we're getting.
It actually is. I will say that. It actually is.
One thing I wanted to talk about tonight, but I don't know if we're going to have time for it. Is that for the third time in a row, of course, South Dakota voters are going to get a chance to vote on legalized marijuana and vote yes on it again, and then we get to see and play the bingo card on what 10 different ways will our governor shirk the will of the voters. No matter what you think about it, the thing about it, the people voted for it, and that's the thing. We're not talking about like 2% over 50. We're talking about 60 something percent.
All right.
And Measure 29 is coming up, and it ticks me off. And I was down. I'll be honest with you. I was down in New Orleans, and I tweaked my back something fierce. Could not sleep one night completely, and ended up going down and getting a gummy that helped me sleep and took the pain out of my back for a little bit. I wasn't loopy. I didn't want to go off and commit crimes and this and that, and perfectly fine. And it's treat it like some serious stuff. And
it's coming on the ballot here in North Dakota too.
Yeah,
and Lynette just pointed that out. You and I have had this discussion before, and
you're right on it. Just don't tax it.
So this is why I don't support the measures. And before one jumps down my throat, I could care less. If you're smoking weed or whatever, I guess knock yourself out. The law don't matter anyway on that kind of stuff. And if you're not hurting me, fine. I don't think that that's the best delivery system of the actual medicinal part of marijuana, because the oil is that's the thing right there.
Well,
whatever.
I'm not a smoker on it either, so I mean that's not my thing. But yeah.
I am not for the legalization of recreational marijuana as written in either of these ballot measures, because I don't want to send one more single penny to the state of anybody, state of North Dakota, state of South Dakota, for anything. Giving the state more tax money, and that's what it is, and more licensing and more regulation is a stupid idea. I can't believe most of the people pushing this are libertarians. They really are, at least in North Dakota. they don't want all this regulation. They don't want licensing. But what's the first thing they do? Well, to pass it, we'll go ahead and let you tax it, regulate it, and license it. Really?
Yeah. Well,
right now, you have a perfect system. It's a supply and demand.
Yeah.
It's going to be cheaper that way than, it's actually a competitive market just depending on your dealer, right?
Yeah.
And yet in North Dakota, on the medical side, there's pretty much one guy up there that has the monopoly on all of the outlets for this stuff. I am not for any kind of government involvement. If they want to legalize it, I'm fine with that. But don't give anything to the state as far as control, period. And let's face it, federally, it's still a regulated drug. And
yeah, and I know.
You're going to be in trouble if you're possessing it as a firearms owner.
I know. And that's the other thing that drives me. Why isn't that provision in there? Take that in there. Make sure that that protects your Second Amendment rights.
Right.
Because if I get a legal license to buy or whatever else, and and just like anything else, if I'm driving a car and I'm erratic and they pull me over, that's fine. They got me. That's good.
I like the one that says, she goes, remember when pot was the devil gateway drug is what she meant. So what's the new gateway drug? And I'm going to put this out here to you. If you want to smoke it, take it, do whatever. But I also have the right not to hire you and not to associate with you and not whatever. And that's where they forget that part. They want to be able to do this anyway. I'm sorry, I've been around people who've been high like that.
Well, let me go ahead and tell you, if you are a pure libertarian, then I think you're an idiot. That's just what it is.
Well, me and Jamie call them libertarians.
You want everything like when you were 5 years old, everything should be free, and you don't know where money comes from. And that's basically. And I know people that are actually business owners and they're libertarian. And I'm going, well, you're a business owning idiot, because it just doesn't make any damn sense whatsoever.
So David Fetting, he says, my only issue is the states that have free use. The low level job field is full of burnouts. I'm tired of walking into a gas station and wonder if I could still pass a drug test. Well, I know what you're saying, Dan. And David, we've run into that. I've run into that, especially when it was legal in Colorado. And then we went out to actually Seattle for an NRA thing, and they had just passed all that stuff then. And there were people on the streets just sitting there going, hey, man, you want to try some of this? No, I'm good. Don't worry about it. Remember, you have the right to probably do it, okay? But you also have a right not to leech off of me when you have problems. You're not entitled to a job because you're smoking drugs and you're high all the time, or you're burned out, and I'm not going to hire you. You don't have a right to any kind of subsidy or assistance because you're a drug user. You're on your own. You have that right.
And I agree with you on a lot of this, except for the fact that if you drink alcohol, it's the same thing.
I agree.
If you smoke cigarettes, it's the same thing. If you do any of that stuff, it's the same thing.
You're on your own.
My thing is that why is one treat it one way and the other is not?
Well, because the others are taxed and regulated, so that's what they're trying to do with marijuana.
Yeah. If you go and go nuts on this stuff, if you go for it for a medicinal purpose and here's what it goes back to the uninformed voter thing. It's like, we say uninformed voter. The real thing we need to say is an idiot.
Yeah.
So
speaking on what you just said, David, or Mike, David chimed in. He says, I know that's not how it works, but if it's okay to smoke at work, why can't a cashier drink all day? Exactly. And Mike was just getting it. Why is it treated different? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And I'm pissed off about the tax thing more than anything. I hate sending more money to an entity, whether it be local, state, county, I don't care. Government, if you send them more money, they will waste it.
And what are they going to do?
Exactly what they're going to do.
They're going to spend $3.8 billion for a secret service that can't fly a drone.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is if they're going to collect the tax, then I want it to go towards completely eliminating either the income tax or the property tax.
Mm-hmm.
No more new spending. And they're not going to do that.
No,
and kind of what was it? Colorado was using it to fund their schools. So think about this. Just say no to drugs, kids, but we will finance your education with drugs. Just no taxes. That's my biggest.
I'll cheer you back up. When we talk about uninformed voters, remember I have now the poster child for uninformed voters.
That's right.
This guy.
Check this out. That's a liberal's nightmare right there.
Well, he's got gasoline. I mean, that's
He's got an
liberals hate
AC
that.
unit sitting on his cooler with a generator being a gas-powered generator. I love it.
Clay says I need to Photoshop the girl in the back. I like thick girls. Leave that alone, Clay.
Well, you say they always got a fridge full of food, so maybe
That's
there's
right.
something to
There
that.
you go. There's something about that. They know how to cook.
They know how to cook.
Skinny girls just know how to order
Never
beer.
trust a skinny cook, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Axe says, I would have no problem with growing your own for your own use. Screw the government. I'm with you, Axe. I don't understand why I think they think that they're going to get more people to vote for it with government regulation. No,
Yeah.
I don't think that's it at all. I think you'll get more people to say, you know what? Okay, you want this? I'll vote for it. But you're on your own. There's no government interaction whatsoever. I don't want them even being a part of it.
Right.
Of course, I don't believe they should be regulating alcohol, selling people licenses to sell alcohol. I hate that. It pisses me off.
Well, if we don't regulate the alcohol, the stuff you get might not be pure. It might not be, I'm like going,
I guarantee you the stuff you get at home is pure.
I'm without my cup today. I got my other one. So yeah, there you go.
But I'm just, you want to set me off. Tell me you're going to send more money to the government. No.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote against it. And I tell these guys this. I say, oh, you're voting for this? You're full of liberty. And I love freedom and liberty. But you're giving more money to the entity that hates our freedom and liberty. No, I'm not going to vote for that. And I'm going to vote no because of that.
Every time you see one of those truth commercials talking about smoking, they always do these guerrilla campaigns and these big truth commercials and all that. Those are paid 100% through tobacco and through the settlements they did on that. So I'm getting paid to tell you how bad you are through money, through the stuff that you're making.
Coming from the business, the entity that you hate.
I make money off the enemy that I claim.
I'm telling you
hate.
right now. And how's that work? I think there's more smokers now than there ever has been.
No, I don't. I think it's probably tabled
From what
off,
I hear.
but
they tell me the young people, it's getting pretty major again.
Oh yeah, but good Lord. I mean, I hate to tell you this, but remember when smoking used to be a little, a thing you would do, but God, you didn't have to take out a loan for it, for Christ's sake. A carton of cigarettes now might as well go ahead and, it's either feed the kids or get some smokes. So, geez. And
so
some people make that decision.
Why is that generator or why I don't know. I think he means why is that on the cooler, the generator, and how the hell do you get to your beer? I said, I'd like to see
well,
that
now,
too.
if he's smart, he's got a tube going down into his cooler that takes the cold ice going up, blowing that onto him.
Perfect.
But I don't think he's smart. I don't know. That's not the situation.
Dave says, I've never seen anyone say Mexican tequila isn't safe. Eat that bug.
Yeah.
There, actually corrected it. How? There, that's
talking to their ox.
Right, Giles, why on earth are you talking to an ox?
She asked, puzzled. Giles turned to her with a grin and replied,
Well, Martha, I've been trying to teach him how to plow the fields, but he's a bit stubborn. I thought I'd have a heart-to-heart with him and it might help.
Martha couldn't help but laugh at her husband's antics. Giles had a way of turning even the most mundane tasks into a source of amusement. In 1692, the peaceful life of Salem was disrupted by the infamous Salem witch trials. Accusations of witchcraft spread like wildfire, creating an atmosphere of fear and suspicion. Giles and Martha were among the first to attend the pre-trial examinations. However, as the trials progressed, Martha began to doubt their validity. Her skepticism did not go unnoticed. By mid-March, rumors had begun to swirl that Martha herself was a witch. Giles, caught up in the hysteria, believed the accusations against his wife and even testified against her. He spoke of the strange occurrences around their home, such as the sudden illness of his ox and a pet cat. However, the tables were soon turned. On April 18th, 1692, Giles himself was accused of practicing witchcraft. He was arrested and brought in for examination. It was then that Giles made a decision that would mark his place in history. When Giles was brought in for questioning, he turned the situation into a farce.
Witchcraft? Me?
He would exclaim, feigning shock.
Why, the only spell I know is how to make my crops grow. Unless you count the one where I turn water into, cider.
The court officials were not amused, but the crowd was, and Giles remained undeterred. When asked to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, Giles simply shrugged and said,
"Can I plead hungry? It's almost lunchtime, and I can smell Martha's pie from here."
Despite the grim circumstances, Giles' humor was infectious. Even in the face of torture, he managed to keep his spirits high. Unlike others who were accused, Giles refused to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. This act of defiance was met with a brutal form of torture known as pressing. For 3 days, Giles was subjected to this torture, where heavy stones were placed on his body in an attempt to force him to plead. After the first day, he was recorded saying,
"You know, I've always wanted to try stone therapy. I hear it's great for the back."
And Giles Corey was not a man to be broken easily. Despite the unbearable pain, he refused to plead, uttering only 2 words on his last day of life:
"More weight!"
His resilience was both shocking and inspiring. On September 19th, 1692, Giles Corey passed away, but his spirit of defiance lives on. His refusal to enter a plea had significant impact. According to the laws of the time, because Giles did not enter a plea, his estate was passed on to his sons instead of being seized by the local government. Probably the main reason why they were doing it anyway. The story of Giles Corey serves as a stark reminder of the power of the individual will and the dangers of mass hysteria. His tale is one of courage, defiance, and unyielding spirit in the face of injustice. Even today, the name Giles Corey echoes through the annals of history, a symbol of resistance in the face of unfounded accusations and unfair trials. And that's why Giles Moreweight Corey is truly 100% a badass. The sources for this story were Wikipedia.org, HistoryOfMassachusetts.org, TheHistoryJunkie.com, Ancestors.FamilySearch.org, and more. We hope you like this badass of the week, and if you want to hear more on GunsInThe701.com, all you got to do is let us know what badass you got in mind for us to talk about. Drop us a line at guns@GunsInThe701.com. That's guns@GunsInThe701.com. You can also go to our website, check out back catalog for our Guns in the 701 Wednesday show, also our 701 Nation with Jamie, and our back catalog for Badass of the Week. See that QR code up there? Hold on a second. Let me get it up. Bing! There we go. Hey, you can check that thing out as well and donate some money if you got a little to spare. Help us out because studios aren't cheap and we got to keep everything updated. And nowadays, they got you over a barrel because they make you buy subscriptions to programs instead of buying the programs outright. So you're always end up paying for something. So a little money or whatever you want to spare, right up there at the QR code is what you can do. You can also head over and check out the merch on our website at GunsInThe701.com. Right here is a good spot where I would put a little tidbit about your business if you were our sponsor. So if you'd like to be sponsor of GunsInThe701.com's Badass of the Week, drop us a line at GunsInThe701.com. Until next week, when we have more badassery for you, I'm Mike, and as my buddy Clay always says, keep your powder dry and stay safe, you bunch of badasses.
Great segment. But I can tell you that the host unmuted your mic. Are you there, Mike?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
No,
Anyway.
you were muted because you were
I
talking.
was muted.
Yeah.
So it was a restream issue from what I found out. Everything went black on every platform. David called and I talked to him, and so we got everything back up and running. I see it's back up and running. All I can tell you, everybody, is you probably have to rewatch the Badass of the Week because I will make sure it goes on an event and then whatever. One thing that happened, though, guess what? Twitter's back up.
Oh, well.
So you can tune into Twitter again.
Is that all it took? Yeah.
I have no clue what happened. I do notice that Twitter's not up here now again. So Restream did something.
The fun thing is we're back to 6 minutes and 28 seconds that we've been on the air.
Yeah, it completely ended our live stream, Mike. We went down, so I had to hit live again, go live, so it went live again.
Oh, awesome.
But anyway, we're back. Like I said, we'll create an event to make the the actual badass of the week. Put it out there to everything, just like we always do, and it'll be its own segment. And I've been doing that. I don't know if you noticed that. A lot of people have been watching it, so that's good to see. Welcome back. We got 7 over on Rumble. Yeah, Eric says, I thought I had too much whiskey and blacked out. But it was you guys. I love it. You know what? I guess when you're working with this stuff, nothing's perfect. Waylon's back. Everyone's coming back on. Makes me wonder sometimes when this stuff's happening if it's test runs for other things. But so we're coming up. Like I said, we had a great badass. I really highly recommend you guys go watch it later when it comes on the event, and I'll probably load that up, or Mike can load that up. One of us will get it.
So be on all our profiles and everything. So
and it'll go live, and you'll be able to watch it again. And that's been a pretty good deal. So I'm going to leave you guys with this, though, tonight before we go off. And we got a video of an unarmed citizen, and we're going to play that quick for you, and then we'll come back and probably end the show because we're coming up on an hour and a half. And so here we go. And we can talk about this. Check this out, everybody.
Oh, no.
Oh, hey, stick them up. Oh, not today, brother. And away we go there, right to the head. And there goes his brave accomplice right out the door.
I just want to, let me see if I can find his face here real quick. Hold on one second. It just, it's not letting me grab it anymore. Oh, right there. Oh, he took your gun away and he put it to your own head.
Look at that. So I would say that is a good example of a good Samaritan, a good guy with a gun stopping a bad guy with a gun.
Well, he didn't start out with a gun, but he ended up with one. That's a great one right there. And I thought he was going to have to fight 2 guys, but apparently his buddy there didn't decide to stick around. So
that brave soul took off out the door. Now I've seen this video before, and he jumps out and he jumps in his vehicle and he takes off. And I did have all the information at one time. We forgot to use it here a while back. And it sounds like they did get the other suspect in it. They were driving a BMW the way it sounded. So let's go figure, right?
Go figure that one.
Anyway, so to me, that's the armed citizen of the week, or the happy ending of the week. No one got killed, and that's okay. But we definitely had a great patriot who took matters in his own hands and made sure he took control.
I got one more thing for you, Clay, today before we go. So let me pull this up because I didn't get a chance to use this because we kind of broke down real quick. So
Lynette said she thought too. She thought she needed to put her vodka away. No, we're back, Lynette. We're back.
No, we're back. We're fine. No, I did. I loaded that up for you, didn't I? Okay, hold on one second. It's coming. Hold on. I'm coming. I'm back. Hold on. So I showed this to Clay. So and this won't do our the listeners without video any good, but the reenactment of the shooting of our president. So, of course, if you want to see the Guns in the 701 reenactment right here real quick. Mr. President! Anyway, so I thought I'd share that with you real quick because I found that and thought that was absolutely hilarious. Whoever
what? I always say that cats are Democrats. I mean, they lay around, they don't do anything. They sleep under your roof and they eat all your food and don't pay for anything. So they're definitely Democrats.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
So anyway, I don't have much else tonight, Mike. I want to remind everybody we got Mitchell in the morning coming up. Mike is not going to be on anymore on Fridays. He took a new position where he works. So congratulations. It's a step up and I don't blame him.
I'm like in charge with responsibilities and all that cool stuff. So yeah.
So Mike, basically me and Todd, we're just going to do this on our own once in a while. I might have someone in if you're able to come on, or I might, I'm sure JD will join us once in a while, but I'm going to go with it with Todd and encourage him to do more with it. Sounds like he's good with that. So I do know that Mike Bell's going to be out sometime in August on Dakota Mornings, and Kelly Armstrong is going to be filling in. And see, I think I'm going to be going up there too with to be in studio with Jamie and Kelly. That'll be a pretty good show. I don't know if I'm going to be here yet. That's my big thing. So if I go to Rapid City that weekend, I will not be here Friday and I will not make it. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. And I know Michael wants to have us on again sometime during the week. And I know guys that a lot of guys don't care for that show, but He's been great about having us on about the Second Amendment issues, and we're definitely going to take every opportunity to talk to everybody about the Second Amendment. And
well, look, Trump today went on in Chicago.
Black
journalist. I mean, he went into the lion's den right there, and yeah,
I thought he handled himself well. I was listening to it in the tractor, and I thought he did a great job. And some of them were pretty rabid. That one gal was a bitch as far as I was concerned, but I thought he handled himself great. So just want to let everybody know, and of course, that's 8:15 Central, 7:15 Mountain, right there on KFYR 550 AM, Mitchell in the morning. And that's our permanent spot right now. I don't see that changing up too much. So appreciate everybody listening. If you like it, let them know. Go ahead and give Todd a call. They got their number there, 258, of course, 701-258-05550. Let them know that you like hearing it, because they like hearing that stuff if you do.
Yep.
And then, of course, every Wednesday night, Mike, I think in September, we're going to go back to the office summer hours.
Right.
Right now, we're still at 7 o'clock Mountain PM and 8 o'clock PM Central. Every single Wednesday night. Some of the subjects I think I'm going to do the bump stock thing, pretty sure of it on Friday. I got a couple other in the can here that I kind of want. There's something about the NRA's old Mr. Uncle Wayne. There's been a court ruling, so I think I'm going to bring that one up. And I got a couple other ones, so I think I'll be going with that. But other than that, I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. It was a fun show. Too bad we went out, and that was a restream. I mean, restream went down, and I had to reboot, and so did Mike, I think, and then we had to go live again.
Yeah.
So, but we did get it back on there. People they found us again, and we appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks to our great sponsors, Lauer Auto Repair, Bloodline Kinetics, Little Angry Man Arms, Mandan Sporting Goods, and they're on for another quarter. They do quarterly, and we're glad to have them on board with us. And I guess I'll give a plug to 701 Nation's got a sponsor over there, Double H Guns. And yeah, anyway, we want to thank all of our great sponsors. We can't do it without you. And check out the website. I'm going to be loading some new stuff up here probably next week. So next week, go check it out. Doug says, oh, that's right. They also ruled in favor of FRTs. I think that was a Supreme Court decision too. Mm-hmm. I will be definitely checking all that out for everybody. Now I'm going to try. I've been thinking of something new, Mike.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of thinking I want to have some of our very, what do you want to say, our very loyal listeners come on once in a while and basically throw any question. I want to give them the link, have them come on.
Right.
And visit with us about some of the things they bring up, because we don't get to them all, and just see how that segment goes. Maybe do that once a month or something.
I'm glad, because I thought you were going to go ahead and take my idea for OnlyFans. And
well, you set that up and you run it, and
yeah, there you go.
But anyway, we've been toying. I'm toying with that, and me and Mike will be talking about that. And yeah, I'd like to actually have some of you guys come on and do that, and you can be like question and answer session, and I don't think that's a bad thing either. But all right, everybody, I'm going to go eat some supper. I got a busy day ahead of me tomorrow again. I thought this retirement thing was going to be easier, but
well, now I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get ready to get on the air at 6. So yay! So Mikey in the morning. Actually, my wife doesn't want me to call it Mikey in the morning. She wants me to call it Mike in the morning. She says nobody calls you Mikey.
Oh, called Deeks. Deeks in the morning.
So
now you got Mike in the morning and Mitchell. Yeah. Well, maybe you know what? Maybe you need to have me on and Todd on with you in the morning.
There we go. We could do that once.
Guns in the 701 and KFYR 550. Wow, we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, we might have to work out something there real quick. Well, we'll officially put the digital mustache on Todd, so that he's not cross pollinating on different stations.
There you go.
So he's good. Disguise.
All right. Guys, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, even with all the technicalities and the issues with the restream. But hey, that's the way this goes on the internet. I appreciate all the support we do. And I always say, Mike, what do I say? Keep your powder dry. We will see everybody on Friday morning